Morning everyone, back in the car. So we're back in the car again. Welcome to the channel. So if you don't know me, my name's Matt Williams. If you do know me, my name's still Matt Williams, and this is my journey back to health and fitness, wellness, and my journey through utilising GLP-1 medication and how it's affected me, how it's worked with me, and what my progress is at the moment and how we're going with that. So in the last video I mentioned that I would start doing a fortnightly video on my progress, but this would be more of an update video as to what has happened from when I stopped taking the medication in December of last year, so that's December 25, through to deciding that I needed to get back on the medication, and how that's worked. So here we go. So, I stopped taking the medication in December of last year due to health reasons. So I had to have an operation, and the consultant told me that when I had the operation I would have to stop taking the medication because I couldn't be put to sleep while I was on the medication. So therefore that meant I had to stop the medication. So when I stopped taking the medication, I had gone past my chosen weight loss goal. So my chosen weight loss goal was about 11.5 stone, and I'd gone well past that. I'd got to just under 11 stone, which for me is a healthy weight still, but not, it was a little bit more than I wanted to lose. So prior to that I'd gone from Mounjaro to wegovy, and I'd been on wegovy for about 2 months, I think it was, there or thereabouts, and then I stopped. Obviously wegovy doesn't work in my mind as well as Mounjaro because it's only working on the one receptor, so therefore it's not as prolific. So I feel that potentially wasn't quite as good, and my plan had been to slowly come off the medication, in which case I would have hopefully reprogrammed my brain to allow me to be in a better position to not put the weight back on. So unfortunately I had stopped taking the medication early, so I stopped taking it early December, didn't take any December, January, February, so that's 3 months. Over those 3 months I put over a stone back on, over a stone. So I put back on £16 or 17, I think, no, actually £17 I put on over those 3 months, which is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Now some of that might have been down to the fact that I couldn't exercise as much as I wanted to because of having the operation, so therefore I couldn't do the level of exercise I wanted to do, so that could be some of the reason why I put some of the weight back on. But really, when I stopped taking it, there wasn't a huge difference, but when we got into February, I felt a massive difference in my body, in the fact that the food noise, the hunger, everything like that was back with a vengeance. Did have a few issues going on at home whereby emotionally, unfortunately, I felt the need to eat, and there were some points during February which I was absolutely disgusted with myself. I was just eating and eating and eating and eating and stuff in my face to the point where I couldn't stop eating, and it was horrible, and I really didn't like that at all. Didn't like the way I was being, but I might sound weird, but I just couldn't stop myself. I'd be eating a full packet of biscuits. It was awful, absolutely awful. After all the hard work I'd gone through losing the weight, it was horrible, and I really was disgusted with myself which is probably a bad thing because that makes you feel even worse, and it wasn't good. But I was putting the weight on, and it just wasn't coming off. Wasn't helping myself because I was eating rubbish, and had a craving for rubbish food, crap food, eating loads of rubbish food over Christmas, more chocolate. Then as we went January, February, just ate more and more rubbish food, so chocolate, crisps, biscuits. And like I say, there was one point in February where one night I just sat there and ate and ate and ate and ate until I felt sick. And it was horrible, absolutely disgusting. I was really disgusted with myself. I felt that I just needed that support to come back on the medication, just to give me that help and support to get everything back under control, get onto a level playing field, and then slowly but surely come off the medication again. So I restarted the medication at the end of February, and I restarted on a 2.5 milligram dose of Mounjaro. So back on at the beginning. So that was really powerful. So unfortunately, that's all I could start on 2.5 milligram, but that's fine. So since the end of February, so we're nearly a month now because we're at the beginning of April, April tomorrow. So since the beginning of February, since the end of February, I have been taking 2.5 milligrams, and my weight at the start of this second journey was 12 stone 2, which you may think is okay, but I could feel in my clothes and in my feelings that I was too big and putting too much weight back on again. The clothes that were fitting me nicely were getting a bit tight again, and I didn't really want to be in that position. I wanted to be slim but not skinny. I want to be, my weight that I want to be is around about 11 stone 6, so about 11.5 stone, so just under 11.5 stone. So my plan now is to stay on the 2.5 milligram for as long as I possibly can, till I get to around that weight. Hopefully, being around that weight, I can then get my brain into gear and control everything, and then slowly but surely come back off the medication in a position where I won't relapse like I have done, and I won't go back into the same situation again whereby I stuff my face with rubbish. So I've now taken 5 2.5 milligram doses, and my weight over the 4 weeks has reduced from 12 stone 2 to 11 stone 8. So that's what, £6, so half a stone. Well, no, half a stone is £7, so £6. What I will do is I'll put on the side of the screen my progress up the weight and then back down the weight. So I would say half a stone or £6 over 4 weeks is pretty good. It's just over £1 a week, which is a sustainable weight loss. I don't feel hungry. When I restarted taking the medication, I did feel nauseous again, and the usual things, so nausea. But what I did find is that it didn't tend to curb my hunger as much as it had done previously. So it did curb my hunger, and it did make me full quicker, but not to the extent it had done previously. So I don't feel that it was working in exactly the same way. Now that could be because my body had been used to it previously. I don't know. But I have found that I'm eating less. And one of the things I have done more so this time is I've significantly increased my level of protein. So I'm eating somewhere above 100 grams of protein a day, which is, I'm aiming for somewhere between 150 and 200, but I don't always hit that target. and I've tried to keep the carbs down. But what I will do on the next video is I will talk you through my food intake over the last couple of weeks and what I've been doing to try and make that better, and my exercise regime going forward. So like I said, these videos will be every fortnight, and it'll be my journey back on the weight loss drugs, back on getting fit and how that's going. So make sure you like and subscribe, and anything you want me to cover I can do. I'll speak to you all soon.